I'm going to record this and share it with some of the TV stations as well. We'll just go ahead and I'll start with the first question, and then we'll go around the horn here. I'll ask some of the other media members, give them a turn to ask you a question.
Okay.
First one, with all the laps you've had on the Bristol Dirt lately, is there anything that you can take away from those experiences to get ready for this weekend's race in the sprint cars?
I don't think so. The sprint, well, really all the cars are so different from each other that there's not a whole lot, especially with the sprint car, I think, that you can take from the laps that I've had there in the late model and the cup car that are going to benefit me for the sprint car. It's just so different. The cars are much faster, and you just have to pay attention to kind of how the track is changing, and we'll see. Hopefully the groove will get wide and slick, and we can move around and put on a good race.
How much fun have you been having lately on dirt? You've won a couple of races here recently, last weekend, I guess, in the World of Outlaws series.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't gotten to run a World Outlaw race, but I won an All-Star race last week at Williams Grove. So that was my first sprint car race of the season. So that was cool. I've ran the late model, obviously a handful of times, and have been really strong in that. Have not been off the podium in the races that we've ran this year. So the dirt stuff's been going good now for, a little over a year. So happy with how that's all going, and looking forward to a lot more racing left the rest of the year.
All right. We'll go our first question with Jesse Kroll of WJHL TV. Go ahead, Jesse.
Hey, Kyle. Hope you're having a good day. I think what we learned about you too at Bristol Dirt was, I mean, man, you love to compete. I think if we looked at your car, it looked like a demolition derby car. And I mean, you just wanted to finish that race. You just want to get going, and being able to do that, I think is truly amazing, because a lot of drivers probably would have dropped out. So what does dirt racing mean to you, and just being able to compete at a track like Bristol?
Yeah. We definitely had a tough day in the cup car, and got caught up in a wreck and had a lot of damage, but try to fight through the day and get the best finish that we could out of it, and still had fun during it. And so yeah, and then dirt racing is just super important to me. It's what I grew up doing, and with them putting dirt down at Bristol, and playing the PlayStation 2 game my whole life as a kid growing up, I really wanted to take advantage of the opportunity to be able to race there and race in a few different types of cars. So looking forward to the opportunity. Should be a lot of fun. Some great cars are going to show up, and should be some awesome racing.
All right. Our next question will go to Jeff Birchfield with the Johnson City Press. Go ahead, Jeff.
Kyle, I know you've driven at a lot of fast tracks and a lot of different types of cars, but the sensation of speed at Bristol, how do you think that's going to compare to anything else that you've ever done?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's going to be faster, with the banking and stuff, but it's still a half mile, and there's a lot of those throughout the country. So, and two, I mean, when you're on a half mile in a sprint car or something, you're wide open. So I really don't anticipate it being like way faster feeling than any other track, like a Port Royal or something like that, or Eldora or something. But I don't know either. I haven't been on there in a sprint car yet. But like the late model, it seemed just a little bit faster than Port Royal. So I think it'll be fairly similar to other half miles, but I don't think the pace will slow off as much as it does kind of at those tracks throughout the night, just because you have the banking and the loads to carry speed throughout the whole night probably.
All right, our next question will go to Alan Gregory of the Bristol Herald Courier. Go ahead, Alan.
Yeah, Kyle, have you gone back and looked at the 2000 and 2001 sprint car races at Bristol?
I haven't in a little while. I mean, I've watched them a few times throughout the last however many years, but the track's different than it was then. I think from what I remember hearing, it was really hot back then too. So the track surface itself was probably drier back then than it will be this weekend. In the cars and engines and tires and wings and all that are different these days. But I mean, there is stuff that you can take and learn from it. But yeah, I haven't watched it in a few months. I watched some probably over the off season, but haven't watched in these last few weeks leading up to it.
And we have a question here from WCYB. What can fans, if they've never been to a World of Outlaws race before, what can they expect to see this weekend with the sprint cars?
Yeah, I mean, some ultra fast racing for sure. These cars have over 900 horsepower and weigh a little over 1,400 pounds with the driver. So you compare that to a cup car that's almost 3,500 pounds, and at Bristol we had 750 horsepower. So lap times will be crazy fast. I'm sure they'll be probably in the mid 12s, if not quicker. So yeah, just unreal speed there. Kind of like fighter jets going around in a circle. So it'd be crazy fast, a quick event probably. The feature I think is only 25 laps, so should be pretty fast paced night, and I know all of us drivers are gonna have fun.
You won 12 races last year with World of Outlaws. Were you surprised by that, or do you really enjoy that style of racing in the sprint cars?
Well, I think the year that we had in general and winning 46 times or whatever last year was a little bit of a surprise. I've won a lot of races in the past, but never that many. Was definitely cool to be a part-time guy and win the most outlaw races in the season. I think maybe Brad or somebody had like 8 or 9 wins maybe last year. So it was cool to go in there and win about half our races we ran with the Outlaws. It's really tough, but I was doing it. I was racing. I wasn't full time with the Outlaws, but I was racing sprint cars and stuff almost every day of the week. So we built up a huge notebook, and I was really fresh as a driver. So now this weekend being really just my second week back in a sprint car, and since November, there's probably still a little bit of rust I got to knock off, especially with the Outlaws and how much more aggressive their style of racing is than say All Stars are, just with the double file restarts and things like that. So it's the little things that you got to perfect to be good with the Outlaws, and hopefully we can do that this weekend.
We'll go to Jeff Birchfield with the Johnson City Press for the next question.
Kyle, you were talking about track surface a little back, and I know you've ran at Bristol and you ran recently at Tazewell Speedway. How does the dirt around here compare to, say, the Midwest or even further south where it's like a deeper red clay and all that?
Yeah, I mean, every track you go to is different, different dirt. Like out in California, it's all really black, dark clay that holds a lot of moisture. Then you kind of work your way to the Midwest. Like Ohio is really kind of sandy type dirt, so it gets really dusty. Illinois, Iowa has probably the best racing dirt, I think. It's kind of that dark clay, but it gets really, really shiny and slick throughout the night, and I like that dirt the best. And then you get to the East Coast where it starts turning red, and there's different types of red clay for sure. Like you mentioned, further south you get, it's kind of like a sandy red. And then like Pennsylvania has got really good red dirt that gets slick and shiny and not really abrasive on the tires, which is good. So yeah, it's cool, to get to race all throughout the country and kind of see how the dirt's different at each racetrack.
Next question comes from Brian Walker. Go ahead, Brian.
Kyle, I was curious what kind of conversations you and Paul have been having leading up to this, kind of his thought process going into this weekend?
I haven't really talked to him about it at all. When I ran the late model, he just asked like gearing and stuff that we ran there compared to say Port Royal or something. So Kevin Rumley was able to give him, gearing and kind of size of springs and stuff compared to the two tracks, just to give Paul a gauge of maybe setup stuff. But yeah, Paul's really smart, and for the most part, I think last year it didn't matter kind of what track we went to. We ran similar package at most places. So I would assume going to Bristol will probably be a little different, but his approach probably won't be much different. So yeah, we'll see. We typically don't qualify very well on half miles, but we race well. So hopefully we can qualify good and make our night a little easier.
We'll go back to Jesse Kroll with WJHL. Go ahead, Jesse.
I think we kind of would wrap it up like this. Kind of put a bow on my first question. But what would it mean, Kyle, to win this race at Bristol on Saturday?
Yeah, it'd mean a lot. They've only done this race a couple times, so or you had a few dirt races now at Bristol, so there's not many people that can say they've won on the dirt at Bristol. So I'd like to do that for sure. And yeah, it's just a unique event. So you want to win the unique one. You want to win all of them, but the special ones for sure. So this is one of those, and it's a track with so much history, and for sure I'd love to win there.
All right, we'll go back to Alan Gregory with the Bristol Herald Courier. Go ahead, Alan.
Yeah, Kyle, how big of an opportunity is this for the sprint car world and sprint car fans to race on a venue like this?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a great opportunity to showcase our sport even more. It sounds like there's already a lot of fans that have pre-ordered tickets and stuff, so it should be a great crowd. So looking forward to seeing that. And yeah, I mean, I hope it's just a great event that runs smoothly, has some tight racing, hopefully a good finish, and I think the fans will really enjoy it. So the World of Outlaws do a great job promoting their events and putting on great events for their fans. So yeah, for sure the opportunity's out there to have a great weekend all around. And I think the buildup has been great already.
Kyle, last question here comes from WCYB. Talk about the competition in the World of Outlaws series, and how competitive are you with Brad Sweet in particular?
Really competitive with Brad. He's my brother-in-law, so yeah, I want to beat him more so than anybody probably, and I'm sure the same goes for me with him. But he's having a great year. Brad is by far the best driver out there right now, with the best team too. So he'll definitely be the guy to beat for sure. But the World of Outlaws are just extremely competitive. You can look down the field and kind of pick apart guys that are good on half miles and things like that. I expect like Carson Macedo and their team to be really, really good. David Gravel is always a great qualifier, and that kind of set your nights up, and that's important for half miles. Logan Schuhart, Jacob Allen, like the list goes on and on. Sheldon, he's been killing it. The World of Outlaws, yeah, I mean, the best sprint car drivers in the world race and travel with them every week. So they're just the most professional teams, and they're hard to beat. So we're just a part-time team, but I feel like we do a really good job, and I think we showed last year that we could win at any track and any day of the week with the Outlaws. So hopefully it's still the same this weekend, but like I said, I don't think anybody can go there and expect to win. I don't think you can go to any track with the Outlaws at this year with how competitive it is and think that you're going to win. So yeah, it should be fun.
All right. Well, we appreciate your time, and we'll look forward to seeing you out at Bristol this weekend.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you.